This is my Ananke kukri. This is a custom order for a great client. It is ATS 34 high molybdenum stainless steel. The bolsters are 304 austenitic stainless steel, and the handle is Kambaba jasper gemstone from Madagascar. It is one of the oldest fossils on Earth. It is 3.6 billion years old, I believe, and it is fossilized stromatolite algae, but it is jasper. It is a extremely hard, tough rock, and this is an unusual knife because it's so large. It's over 18 inches long. It is a kukri. It has a forward swept or recurved blade, and the traditional sheath for this is leather shoulder, my 9 to 10 ounce leather shoulder inlaid with buffalo skin, hand stitched, and just a standard high back sheath with double belt loops in the back, and a very nice sheath, very sturdy sheath for this kind of knife. But this isn't the only sheath the client wanted. He wanted a tactical sheath for wear in the field. So what I have is one of my standard locking Kydex aluminum and stainless steel sheaths. This is a very sturdy sheath. This is actually probably the best knife sheath made in the world today. And I can say that because I know of nobody else that's making anything even close to it. This is double thickness Kydex, thermoforming, polyvinyl chloride, and acrylic. It is made over a frame of 5052 H32 corrosion resistant high strength aluminum alloy. These are aluminum welts in here. I take the time to anodize and dye them. They're permanently dyed with a near ceramic hard coating that's 1 mil thick, which is leads it to high corrosion resistant, even higher corrosion resistant than the aluminum alloy underneath, and very durable and non-reflective. The sheath is held together with stainless steel, 304 stainless steel Chicago screws, or they're also called sex bolts because they have a male and female part. They are all stainless steel. They're blasted and blued for oxide, with a dark oxide, so they're non-reflective. And they're very sturdy, but it also allows a multitude of wear arrangements. The sheath is locking. It has a multi-component stainless steel locking mechanism. It's 302 stainless, 304 stainless, 316 stainless steel. Again, all blasted and oxidized black. It's a positively locking sheath. It cannot come out until it's released. And it's a fantastic sheath framework onto build the wear components. Now the wear components are critical in all sheaths because without the right kind of fasteners and hardware and materials, the sheath might as well stay at home. You've got to be able to wear this knife, as you will with any knife. So I start with standard belt loops. These are belt loops that go across the belt, but they're also called, the origin of these is called footman's loops. If you look at steamer trunks, antique trunks, they're covered with these as they have the webbing or leather around them, and they're all held in with footman's loops or belt loops. These belt loops will fit anywhere along the sheath where I have the standard 2.5 inch spacing of the Chicago screws, which is almost every place on the sheath and on either side, so they can be attached anywhere. So they'll fit a variety of belt arrangements or webbing arrangements that you may have on your gear. Another option I have is these are thin belt loops, which are better used with leather. And here's some thicker ones. These are 1/4 inch thick that will accommodate the heavy tactical webbing belts that are sold today and worn with a lot of this equipment. These are 0.190, this is 0.250. They're both in thickness. They're both accommodating a 1.5 inch belt. When these don't work, or they're not the ones of choice, I also have vertical flat straps. These are clamping straps that clamp vertically along the sheath. So if the sheath is vertical, they're all marked V, so it's real easy to tell them from the others. And they clamp anywhere along the sheath where that bolt pattern is, which is, like I said, is just about everywhere except both ends, here and here. And these will accommodate straps and webbing on an individual's gear. Say if he's got his own pack arrangement, or he's got the pouch attachment ladder system on Molly gear webbing, or any of the military tactical gear. you can usually find a place to clamp the flat straps. I also have horizontal flat straps, and they're marked H1 through H4 because they reside in different places horizontally across the knife sheath, like this. So they'll be able to find a place to clamp too. And again, these are flat aluminum anodized straps. They're 1/8 of an inch thick, and they will rigidly clamp the sheath to any kind of webbing or gear arrangement that the wearer may have. A unique request with this knife was that it had a multitude of wear arrangements. The sheath is the sheath and knife are a very large unit together. The knife is over 18 inches long, so this ends up being a really large knife and very hard to sheath and find a place to accommodate on the body to wear. Traditionally, you might think that the belt loops could accommodate the sheath for standard wear, where most people think you wear a knife, which is fine. However, you can see it gets up under the rib cage here and really isn't a comfortable place. So the first modular unit, and these are modular frame units that I've developed for this kind of wear. The first modular unit is a belt loop extender. So it takes the belt loop, which would be up here, and extends the knife down so that the belt loop is worn down here. And you'll see this on firearms, because on tactical firearms, because your arms are long. It's not really comfortable to reach up high, and then lift additionally is really not easy to do. So it's much better to wear the unit down lower so that you can grab lower and you still have the extension to unsheath a knife or a firearm, depending on what it is. So the first modular unit is the belt loop extender. This is my belt loop extender module. Now, this is not like my other belt loop extenders on smaller knives that I've made in the past, because those were all made from webbing only. This is made with a framework, and this is the frame right here. The frame is 304 stainless steel, all handmade and welded. It's very solid, very stout, very corrosion resistant, and it's blasted for non-reflectivity, and then it's oxidized black in color. You'll notice there's writing engraved on the entire frame. And the first piece that's important says this side towards sheath. If you look on the sheath, there is an engraved line on the sheath, permanently engraved in there, that says this side toward the frame. So for the right-handed person, the frame will always be easy to orient. So you turn this side toward the sheath, and you can see I've left these Chicago screws out because these are the 4 mounting holes for the module. And how the frame mounts is very simple. I wanted it to be fast for my clients, so it's a simple thumb screw, and it's real easy to locate the hole. There's only one way it can go in there, only one place, and you can locate it easily by hand. And these are just threaded on. And they are also, the thumb screws are also 304 stainless steel that's blasted, knurled, so it's easy to grip. And they're blasted and oxidized black also for non-reflectivity. When these are started, they need to be started gently and carefully before they're hand tightened, because you don't want to cross thread stainless steel. It will gall and seize the threads. But there you go. So now it's mounted, and that's as simple as it is to mount it to this modular assembly. Now this is the belt loop, so I'm going to put it on here. Notice there is a split here in the upper loop assembly. That's to accommodate a belt loop on a pair of pants. I'm not going to take the trouble to thread this through now, but you can see how that would thread through the belt loop too. But I'm just going to put it on the belt quickly here. This is not really the kind of belt you'd be wearing. It's a work belt, but enough to demonstrate. Now, it's in the place where we want it. It's down low. It's easy to get to, right at your right hand. But there's some other issues. First off, we get the strap. This is a 2-inch wide polyester webbing strap. This locks it to the leg. It's adjustable. It can be tightened or loosened depending on the user's wear preference. And if you notice, the knife does a little bit of this, which you don't want it to do. So this is an anti-flop. Stop the knife from flopping around. This is an anti-flop security strap, piece of webbing that's a 1-inch and buckled that stops the knife from moving. Now this is very comfortable, very easy to wear and fit. The knife is in the right place. When I want to unsheath the knife, I simply unlock the 1-inch strap, unlock the knife, and it's in my hand where it needs to be. Easy to sheath, easy to secure. The belt, or the webbing on the leg is wide. It's 2 inches wide, and it has a 2-inch buckle on it, snapping buckle on it. And the reason that that's important is you don't want some kind of tie out of leather or anything that can actually impede your circulation or be uncomfortable or cause wear, or cause blisters and chafing. Every place that the stainless frame has a loop, these loops are all welded on, and here there's a welded loop under here. Every place that it has a loop, particularly on this narrower webbing, it's doubled in thickness. You can see that this is a double thickness of polypropylene webbing. The reason, by the way, I use polypropylene and polyester in these webbing arrangements and in the stitches, because nylon absorbs water and can encourage the growth of fungus and mildew and rot, and polyester and polypropylene does none of that. They're also color fast for long extended sunlight and UV resistant. So that's the reason I use polyester and polypropylene. So that's the module for the extended belt loop. Pretty simple. Then to change this to the next module, I simply unscrew the thumb screws. It's very, very fast and easy. No tools required. Of course, all of the other straps, the flat straps and the belt loops, they require a screwdriver or 2 screwdrivers to engage the Chicago screws. There's always plenty of extra screws in the kit, so my clients have plenty to do their mountings. And the next one I want to do is the sternum harness. Now the sternum harness is the first wear position was right here. The next wear position is right here. This is a hard place to wear a knife. In the past, I've made all of these harnesses, including the extra harness that has an extra strap for stability, all out of webbing. This is the modular system now. It's also webbing, but it's built on the frame, the stainless frame module. So in order to wear it there, you can find a module that says Sternum Harness engraved right on it. If you notice also that there is, on all of these are engraved where each belt or webbing strap goes. This one says left side chest strap, this one says over left shoulder, this one says right side chest strap, and this statement is this side towards the body. So now you know how to orient the strap. This side says this side towards sheath. So it's very easy to orient these. They only go on one way. So you just match it on the sheath. And again, start these by hand so that they don't get cross-threaded. Oops. Just like that. Now in these I'm using the longer thumb screws, but I also have shorter thumb screws if you're worried about it the screws sticking out the back. If they're too long, you can use the shorter screw. So once that's attached, and these don't need to be very tight, they're not going anywhere. Once that's attached, the easiest way to don these that go over the shoulder in any way, shape, or form, and there's a couple of them, is to look for the strap that says shoulder. This one says over left shoulder. So you know that the knife is going to be, knife and sheath are going to be positioned in this fashion, like this, over this shoulder. So if you take the left side chest strap and snap it, now you can just run your arm right through it. And now with the arm through it, you let the other strap fall behind you, and you can kind of lean and you'll be able to catch the other strap. And you can feel with your hand, you can reach behind your chest and make sure it's not twisted, and then pull it straight and snap it, and there it is. Now this is a little bit loose. I would probably have this a little bit tighter. If I were wearing more gear, it would be fine. One way to help with orienting these is, what I've done is I punch marked each buckle. Each one of these acetal buckles, by the way, the 2 inches has a breaking strength of 100 pounds, 110 actually. And if you're ever confused about orienting them, you just simply look for the little punch marks on the edges that match up with each other on the edges of the buckle, and you can make sure you get the correct buckle. But that's the sternum harness to unsheath the knife. It's unlocked and dropped out. To resheath carefully, you just make sure it's locked. And that is the sternum harness. Alright, now I'm going to move on to the, one more thing before I move on. Notice the left side shoulder strap. All shoulder straps have a removable and movable padding. This padding is 10-ounce neoprene, foam neoprene, and it's held on with elastic stitching in this fashion so that it can be moved, yet it holds it pretty tightly, and it gives you a little padding over the shoulder areas, which can sometimes be painful. So now I'm going to change this out to the last module. Which goes really quickly. Alright. The last frame module is the spine harness. Now this one looks kind of complicated. In fact, let's get these all snapped up here and you can see what I mean. It's got all twisted around here. Alright, here we go. It's really not as complicated as it looks. So this goes actually around this direction. Now with this snapped up, I'm just going to show you this one with all the snaps done so you can see that this is in essence a 4-point harness. The 4-point harness will go across the chest. The purpose of this frame module is to hold the knife or to mount the knife for wear over the spine. So if you're right-handed, you can see that this is where you would want the knife, right here in this fashion. Hollywood makes this look really easy. It's actually pretty complicated to actually have something functional, useful, and durable. So let's look this one over, and you can see that it says this side towards body, says over right shoulder, over left shoulder, and chest strap. So we're going to go this side towards sheath, so we know how to mount it on the sheath. And get it in position and mount it with the thumb screws. The more you do this, the more you'll realize what a easy and convenient change and system this is. Even without my glasses, I can't make out the thumb screw there. Let's try a different one here. Oops. Oh, well. Let's back this off here a second. Make sure I'm doing this right. And here's where I messed up. Notice I was putting it on the wrong side. There's no marking anywhere here. And this is why I've engraved these words, this side toward frame, onto the sheath. That's why I couldn't start it. So that's a good lesson. So now, this side towards sheath, this side towards frame. Now I know it'll start right up. Again, just thread these with finger pressure. Oh, look at that. Isn't that? You can see it goes right in really quickly, and that's all that's required. Now with this one, again, this looks complicated. You can kind of get an image of how it works. The easiest way to orient these, and as you play with them you'll get more familiar, is to notice that the straps that go over the shoulder have the neoprene pads on them. So that you know right away, but you can also follow the directions on the frame itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to where I can run this through my left arm can run through the frame. I just grab the knife and, oops, I need to snap that buckle. There we go. And see, my arm goes through those two webs. And again, these are index marked. If you're confused about where they go, you want to next grab the one that goes over the strap that goes over the right shoulder and snap it, and then lean to the side, and you can also feel the strap behind you to make sure it's not twisted, and snap it. And there's the mount that goes around the chest, supported around the chest. The knife rides a small amount of distance back here, but not much. It's trapped, so it can move a little bit for different size people, but it's fairly well trapped, and it's locked behind the spine. When you want the knife, you simply reach over your shoulder, unlock it, and pull it straight out. Now the tricky part is resheathing. Unlike the other two modular frame mounts, you can't see where you're putting this knife. So here's the trick. You grab it by the tip. Squeeze the tip, be careful of the cutting edge, reach over your shoulder, and then feel with the edges of your fingers, you can feel the mouth of the sheath, and you can feel exactly where to put the point of the knife, and then lock it in and make sure it's locked. Again, one more time. Unlocked, knife is used, grab it by the point, pinch the point, reach over the shoulder, guide it into the mouth of the sheath, and lock it. And that's the spine harness. Over your spine, it's very comfortable, feels really nice. However, there's one more additional feature of this. You could see how having this piece of Kydex and stainless steel against your back might, over a period of time, make you sweat or be a little bit uncomfortable, because it's very hard, although it really doesn't bother me much. But I wanted to add an extra padding in there, but I wanted a special kind of padding, one that could ventilate. And I came up with this stuff. This is really neat, high-tech stuff. This is what is used on ILB body armor between the armor plates or vest and the body to allow ventilation. This is an expanded mesh. It's 3/16 of an inch thick, and there are 2 layers of it. So it's about 3/8 of an inch thick when it's compressed. It is so open that it allows air to breathe horizontally through the mesh. And I've created this special padding system with these 2 components that works with all of the modular sheath frames. So let me unlock it here and show you how that works. Let's put it on this one, since this is probably the most complicated one. So I'm going to unscrew the frame again. Now the key to this is this anchor plate, and this is a piece of 4-inch wide polyester webbing onto which I've stitched several critical runs of loop of the hook and loop or Velcro fastener system. And if you notice, this one has 3 holes in an unusual shape, and each knife will probably be shaped a little bit different, but the holes will always be in the same place. On the side that the frame goes, I line up the holes and I see that that's the way they line up. And now I'm going to run the long thumb screw, and you always want to use the long screw because this is adds a little bit of thickness to the sheath. And I'm going to go ahead and pinch this between these the frame and the sheath. It gets threaded right in between here. My webs are kind of in the way. Again, through the polyester here, right there, and then into the sheath frame. Leave all these loose until they're all threaded so they don't cross thread. Alright, now I'm going to snug up all my thumb screws, and when I do, not only will the frame be rigidly attached, but it'll have pinched this polyester webbing support back here. Now, across these vertical runs of the loop, of hook and loop, these are the hooks. And this simply can be placed on here just about in any direction, but right on top of the sheath, and it's very hard to get it off, particularly since when you get it on your body, it's going to be between your body and the sheath back, or the frame. Get you around, feeling for the strap. And snapping it. Now, if you can see that, you can see that the ventilated padding, it's almost a pillow of ventilated padding, is between the sheath, trapped between the sheath and the body. It's not going to move around because of the Velcro straps. There's no pressure on it to move in any direction, so it's going to stay there. And it's extremely comfortable. It's actually soft. It actually feels soft, and it's going to allow air to ventilate between the sheath, body, frame, and your body. And that'll keep it very cool and comfortable for a long time. I could probably wear this all day. Very, very comfortable rig. And that's my modular system.